you guys. So today's video is going to be all about 5 skincare products that you can probably stop buying. If you're new here, this is an ongoing series on my channel. I've done plenty of videos about makeup items that you can probably stop buying. It's usually based around items that are overhyped, really popular, super trendy, that you probably have quite a bit of at this point, or you can just sit out altogether. And this is the very first time that I'm doing a video about it around skincare. Before we get into this, I do want you guys to know that I am working on creating some content to kind of help y'all get through these long, boring, kind of scary days that you might be dealing with if you are currently under quarantine or self-isolation. I have a few ideas in the works right now, but if you guys have any cool ones, please make sure you leave them down below as well and make sure you are staying safe out there. So as far as this video is concerned, you guys have heard me say many times on my channel, your makeup will only ever look as good as the skin underneath it. So skincare is a crucial component to having good makeup. In fact, most of the time when people are asking me to recommend foundations or concealers or talking to me about how their makeup is breaking up or not lasting as long or it's getting patchy, my very first question 100 times out of 100 will be, what's going on with your skincare? Because that is the only thing that's going to solve any makeup problems that you have. Now, all that being said, as far as skincare is concerned, I've recently just been informed of this term going around called skintertainment, which I guess refers to people who treat skincare as like entertainment, like it's fun, the same way we treat makeup in a lot of ways now, which is great. Like, no tea, no shade, do what you gotta do. The only word of caution I would give you as far as that is concerned is if you are actively dealing with something that your skin is doing. I'll use acne as an example because it's what I was struggling with for a long time. I don't know if I would approach skincare quite as cavalier and as an escapism, at least as far as how much money you're investing into it goes, because from personal experience, I know that you can invest lots and lots and lots of money and time and energy into trying to combat an issue through watching YouTube videos, reading articles, buying and buying more product, and really just end up throwing it all down the drain because you're not getting the results that you're looking for. If you're having active issues of any kind, I highly suggest you take your time and money and go visit some sort of professional for an in-office consultation, treatment, something, be it a dermatologist, an esthetician, whatever. You know, all the information we have on the internet right now surrounding skincare is super cool and exciting, but at the end of the day, a lot of the people that you're watching are not actual skincare professionals, and none of them are able to communicate with you one-on-one and figure out what's really going on with you and your specific situation. I personally have no formal training in skincare. I am intending to enroll in aesthetic training at the end of the year. I'm so excited. So as a result of that, I have literally been spending all of my time learning about it, reading about it, trying to understand ingredient decks, all of this stuff. But even still, I'm not a professional. So I hope you enjoy the video, but at the end of the day, go get professional help if you feel like you need it. All that being said, let's just get started. Okay, so the first thing that you probably have enough of are face masks. Now hear me out before you X out of this video, because I know face masks are probably everyone's favorite type of skincare item to invest in, but hear me out. I spent a year doing nothing to my skin but washing, moisturizing, and at night I would wash, use tretinoin, and then moisturize. So I didn't get to do really face masks or anything super fun. I mean, every once in a while I would, but overall I didn't get to do any of that fun stuff for a year. So I get it. Now that I'm able to do it again, I have been buying more masks. I have been stocking up on them a little bit. So I'm not saying that masks as a whole are something you shouldn't buy. There's just this particular type of maybe masking habit that you could be falling into that ultimately, depending on your budget and your dedication to your skincare, might be kind of pointless, if that makes any sense. Let's first talk about what a face mask actually is for. At its essence, basically a face mask is supposed to deliver a concentrated amount of ingredients into your skin to kind of bolster up or soup up your existing skincare routine and or attack a specific issue that you're having at the moment. So you might have a breakout and then you use a clay mask to dry it out, or maybe your skin's super dry, so you use a sheet mask. That's kind of what they're supposed to do. There are essentially 2 main types of masks on the market. You have ones that are designed to take something out of your skin, and then you have ones that are designed to put something into your skin. They come in all different forms, but ultimately any mask has one or the other in terms of its overall objective. So pulling something out of the skin, like I said before, it could be like a clay mask where you're trying to control excess oil and sebum or dry out of breakout. In the past couple of years, we've seen a lot of masks coming out that have potent amounts of AHAs or BHAs, which are basically exfoliators. So I'm going to quantify those as pulling something out masks because they are removing something as opposed to adding. So pretty much anytime you see a mask that has the words resurfacing, retexturizing, or it has AHAs or BHAs, salicylic acid, glycolic acid, lactic acid, citric acid, all of those are taking things out. Then you have masks that are putting something in, and sometimes those are like hydration masks, so sheet masks, anything along those lines. You're trying to give your skin a lot of hydrating or nourishing ingredients. Something like a sleeping mask would be a good example of that as well. You might see words like perfecting, hydrating, nourishing, plumping, firming. Those types of names will typically be found on put something in masks, and there are masks that sometimes do a little bit of both. Speaking of sleeping masks, masks are so popular now that we have just like created entirely new categories of them, and the main one would be something like a sleeping mask. And for a long time, my attitude about that was a sleeping mask is really nothing more than just a glorified night cream. And while I have found some literature that suggests that the main difference between a night cream and a sleeping mask is that a sleeping mask has a higher concentration of active ingredients that you wouldn't need to use on your skin every day, the same way that you would need to use a night cream or a night moisturizer every day. I still feel like they're just glorified night creams. I have tried some in the past that I really like, but I don't know that I would say to just anyone that is a need, must have in your routine. And I certainly wouldn't suggest that you need many of them. Because like I said, for the most part, they're all kind of doing the same thing, particularly as it pertains to the put something in masks. You don't need 20 masks that are hydrating your skin as you sleep. You probably just need one, maybe two if you're feeling froggy. But the problem with that, I think, is that masks are so exciting and appealing because it's like, ooh, I get to mix it up a little every day. So to have a sleeping mask, like I said, I think it inspires the idea that you need many of them to get the job done, and you just don't. Same thing with like lip masks. I feel like that's something we've seen a lot of lately, but a lip mask is just a lip balm. I have found nothing that actually suggests there is any difference whatsoever between the two. Like I said, I have found some things that suggest there's a difference between night creams and sleeping masks, but lip masks, haven't found anything that says it's any different than a lip balm. The only difference I could think is maybe a sleeping mask might have like a thicker texture or something that perhaps you wouldn't want to wear all day, every day or something. But at the end of the day, it is just a lip balm. And unless you just have the budget for it and you're feeling bougie and just want to take the extra step, it's honestly something you can probably leave out altogether. And when I say lip mask, I don't mean the little lip sheet masks that are really popular in K-beauty. I mean the actual little lip balms they sell and then call them sleeping masks. Here's the thing with masks. I'm not saying you shouldn't buy them. I'm saying that as long as you have the budget for them, if you enjoy using them, and you're not like counting on any one mask to turn your skin around forever, because typically mask results are temporary, then go ahead and knock yourself out. Do it till you can't do it anymore, I guess. Masks are one of those things in the beauty industry that I feel like have become synonymous with self-care in some way. So also if you enjoy putting on a face mask because it kind of feels like you're treating yourself in some type of way, I don't think there's anything wrong with that either. But in my opinion, when it comes to your skincare and your beauty budget as a whole, I think you invest in the routine, your like morning and night skincare routine that you're going to do every day, day in and day out. Like that's where you spend your money. And then maybe if you have a little left over, throw it at the mask. But don't go crazy. You don't really need to. Number 2 is collagen and or beauty supplements. This is a skincare or beauty product we've seen a lot more of lately. And while I like the idea of them as a whole, we are just not in a place at this time where we're seeing any real definitive proof that they actually do anything at all. And even less proof that if you stop taking them, the benefits that you get from consuming them in the first place will be sustained. While you could argue that if you stop doing anything, the benefits that you gained from starting that habit in the first place would also cease to exist. I don't know if expensive beauty supplements are like really the way to go if you're trying to glow from the inside out, as many of them claim to be able to help you do. On Sephora right now, I'm looking at it right here on my iPad, there are tons of supplements on the market. It is growing like crazy, which I get on the one hand because I'm a big preacher of the idea that like beauty in all capacities starts with actually being healthy. I talked about this in a video that I will link up here. I posted it recently where I kind of broke down the beauty or skincare habits from my late teens and early 20s that I wish I would have had in place because I was just messing my shit up for a long time, for many years, as I think a lot of us tend to do when we're younger. Anyway, the main thing I said in that video that I wish I would have done differently is I would have taken better care of myself as a whole, because being healthier in every capacity improves your skin and overall beauty in every capacity as well. I mean, I said this in the video too, that like from a primitive standpoint, like in our genetic makeup, we are programmed to see things like thick hair and bright eyes and long lashes and clear skin and all that stuff as a sign of health. And we look at that as a sign of beauty and health because as a species, we want to mate with people who are going to give us healthy children and who will be around to help us raise them. So it is like some shit we can't even control that we automatically identify someone that is very healthy as attractive. So I get where the connection of like beauty supplements and all that stuff comes in. I just don't know if like that's the way you go about it. And then there's also the cynic in me that is like, all right, well, they're selling us every cream and goo on the world to put on every square inch of our body. So of course they're going to figure out a way to sell us something to like beautify our insides. And there are currently, like looking down here on Sephora, 139 items listed when you search beauty supplement on Sephora. Okay, back in December, there were 2 videos that I filmed right before, no, it was like November. I filmed these 2 videos the day before I went to Georgia to be with my mom when she was dying. And those videos never saw the light of day. So I think I talked about this in those videos, but it could be in another video I've posted recently. So I apologize if part of this is like been said before or I'm regurgitating old information. As far as all of these crazy ass beauty supplements go, some of them are just nonsense words. Like particularly the ones that really blow me away are the ones from Algenist. And I get it. Like their gig is this whole like, we beautify you with algae. So I get that this would be the way they would go. The only thing is, they have branded chlorella and spirulina supplements as a part of their line now that are $65 a pop. And if you don't know, you can get chlorella or spirulina at Whole Foods. Any health store in the world, you can probably find chlorella or spirulina tablets or powders, and it's not expensive. This stuff is $65. And I'm sure if Algenist had their day in court to defend this decision, they would say like, our chlorella and spirulina are ethically sourced and highest potency. They would have some reasoning for it, but I'm not buying it literally or figuratively. But there are so many of these things at Sephora right now that I kind of can't believe Sephora hasn't decided to make a full-blown like beauty Walgreens or something. Like they might as well. There are so many of these jokers out right now. It has just gotten rowdy out there in the past 18 months. This one from Wellco called the Super Elixir, like is bananas. I saw it and I thought the bottle was really cool, like right away. And the price tag was high enough that I was like, I gotta see what this shit is about. So I clicked on it, and when you read the description, and I use that term loosely, it says that it's a daily dietary supplement formulated by nutritional doctors using 45 plant-based nutrients to support the body's 11 systems. It says that the 45 plant-based ingredients help nourish, firm, brighten the skin for a dewy complexion while combating visible signs of aging like fine lines and pigmentation. And I was like, okay, big price tag, big claims, but doctors apparently are involved in the formulation of this one. Cool, maybe there's something to it, maybe. And then I swiped over to read like about the brand, and it basically is like, it's like supermodel Elle Macpherson made this shit. And like, listen, I'm sure Elle Macpherson is a very smart woman. I don't doubt it, but I'm sorry. I don't know if I'm going to be ingesting a product that costs $135 for 10 ounces based off of the beauty benefits that a friggin' supermodel is telling me that I'm going to get from it. I kind of feel the same way about Tati's Halo line. Like when she first launched it and I was still a fan, I actually did buy her beauty supplement. I think I went through 2 bottles of it, and I will tell you that I saw some benefit. I noticed that my brows were growing in a little bit thicker and the skin on my elbows was softer, but that was really it. And I stopped buying it because I did not see any any reason in the world to justify spending, I think her first formula is like $65 a bottle. Like that just, no, sorry, that's way too high for something that might ultimately be a big fat placebo effect at the end of the day. There is something to be said for the placebo effect surrounding beauty supplements, and some people might argue that a placebo effect or a benefit that you believe you're getting that is only a placebo effect is no real benefit at all. But I might argue that perception is reality, and if there's a perceived benefit to anything and if you feel like you're getting your money's worth, then like knock yourself out. So I will say that collagen supplements are ultimately the most popular type of supplement we see. Collagen's in everything now, and even with topically applied collagen products, there's still no data or research to support the fact that ingesting or applying collagen to your face or in your body does a damn thing. It really doesn't even track if you actually think about it. To assume that you take a collagen supplement and then it goes down into like your through your digestive system into your stomach and then somehow is released through your bloodstream and then it comes and interacts with your skin, and that just doesn't really make any sense if you think about it. The only data that I think is out there that I've heard of that substantiates anything to do with collagen supplements is that you can see benefits of ingesting collagen if the collagen is ingested when the skin is in need of repair. So if you get like a laser treatment or something like that and your skin is like damaged from it, if you ingest collagen, then there has been some studies to show that there is a marked difference in the healing and the appearance of the skin at that time. But other than that, apparently there's not much to be said for it. So as I said with masks in the beginning of this, how in some ways they're very much so tied with self-care, I guess beauty supplements also have that type of a benefit. There have been studies that show that people over a certain period of time who start consuming a beauty supplement, a collagen, protein, peptide, whatever the F you want to call them, it kind of has like a snowball effect on their choices over any given length of time. So if someone gets up in the morning and they take their collagen supplement, they typically make better and healthier choices throughout the duration of that day, and that just tends to build on itself. So I think that's a good positive benefit of doing it if that's something that happens to you when you're being diligent with your beauty supplements. But at the end of the day, if you're trying to figure out how to hone in your beauty budget and you're trying to figure out where you want to spend your money and your skincare and your healthy living routine, I don't know if beauty supplements is the place I would drop my coin, but that's just me. All right, the third thing that you can probably stop buying so much of is clean beauty, green beauty, whatever you want to call it, but don't get ahead of me. I'm not going to poo-poo on clean beauty as a whole, because like, for example, at this point, I'm heavily considering developing and like curating my own like clean or healthy everyday makeup routine. It would basically just be a group of like simple products that I'm just going to use when I'm running errands or hanging out with my family. Because if I don't have to pile on a bunch of stuff that's not awesome for my skin, like why would I? But that's got less to do with clean beauty and more with me wanting to invest in products that do something for my skin while I'm wearing them. I think you can have better ingredients in a product without having to like greenwash everything and postulate that it is the superior way of having a beauty routine. And that's like the key word here, or the key phrase rather, like better ingredients being the idea. Clean and natural does not always mean better. I've heard it said many times around the subject of clean beauty that snake venom is natural, and I don't think any of us are in a hurry to put that in a makeup product either. The word chemical gets thrown around a lot also, like water is a chemical. So yeah, if you take into account that the initial idea behind clean beauty was like litty titties, then I can see the interest in it and why it's been so successful over the past couple of years. I think it's great that we're trying to get a handle on less than stellar, cheap, or toxic ingredients that are in our personal care items. But just like I said, what it's turned into is something entirely different. The long and short of it is that the beauty industry as a whole is almost entirely self-regulated. Like you could literally today go into your kitchen and whip something up and start selling it, and nobody could say boo about it. It's kind of the Wild West in some ways. So once again, I do understand why clean beauty has a place and a purpose, and I understand why it's been so popular. However, I'm not a big fan of like the fear mongering and the inaccurate information circulating the beauty industry and the ingredients in the products that we buy from the beauty industry, because ultimately it's just lining someone's pockets. It's just misinformation that is building a huge business that doesn't, I don't want to say it doesn't need to exist, but like I said, I don't want to be scared into buying stuff that I don't necessarily want, if that makes any sense. Green at Sephora, green, whatever, clean, it doesn't actually mean anything, really. It's just a marketing term. And it's ultimately going to come down to preferences. So what I'm not saying that no one should ever buy clean beauty. I think if that's just the way you want to take your journey, then that's totally fine. But I'm also just a big believer in the fact that when you spend your money on something, you should be spending it on exactly what you think you're spending it on and getting exactly from it what you intend to get from that item. And if your decision is being based on fear and inaccurate information, that's not what's happening at that moment. I guess what this really comes down to is if you don't have the budget to consistently pad your entire beauty arsenal with clean beauty, I don't think you should go out of your way to spend that money there, because depending on, once again, your motivations, it might not even make a difference at the end of the day. A lot of chemicals that have bad reps in the beauty industry aren't even problematic ingredients. Dermatologists will by and far will tell you things like parabens. I know that has like any brand that can say they're paraben free is going to slap that on their label, but a paraben is just a preservative, and our cosmetics need preservatives. It stops them from getting mold and bacteria. I don't know. I feel like there's been no research to substantiate that in small quantities, in the way that they're being used in cosmetics, is harmful at all. It's just not. I know that there's a lot of research out there paid for by the companies that are promoting themselves as clean. They might be able to say they have some research that supports that theory, but double-blind studies and dermatologists and stuff like that, they're here to tell you that it actually means nothing, and parabens and stuff like that are totally fine. And like I said, that's kind of my real issue with it. If you choose to invest your money in clean beauty, that's fine. But if it's not like a part of your lifestyle, if it's not something you can afford to do, if it doesn't really matter to you at the end of the day, I don't think you should let marketing like scare you into investing your money into something that I don't think really makes a shit. Sorry. It's just my opinion though. Number 4 is exfoliators. This is kind of going to piggyback off of what I said about masks, so bear with me. I feel like chemical exfoliators or exfoliators in general are having like a huge moment right now. And on some levels, I'm really happy to see it, because as a grown-ass woman who has been dealing with acne off and on since she was 25, I can tell you that the first product I bought, and this is after years of trying a myriad things, the first product I bought that actually did something to my skin was the Paula's Choice 2% BHA liquid. They still sell it to now. It's a huge best-selling product that they have for a reason. I've talked about it many times. It worked. It helped me with my acne so much. Chemical exfoliants changed the MORPHE game for me, personally. I vote chemical exfoliant over physical exfoliant almost every single time with little to no exception, but some physical exfoliants do have their benefits if they're well formulated, and when I say well formulated, I am not talking about Kylie Jenner's walnut scrub bullshit. Chemical exfoliators, as I said in the mask portion of this video, are things like BHAs. They're usually called BHA and AHAs, but AHA means it's either a lactic acid, a glycolic acid, or a citric acid, and then a BHA is almost exclusively, I could be wrong, but from everything I see, BHA only means salicylic acid. Then you have retinol or Retin-A. Over the counter, you're going to get retinol. There's a lot more products coming out with retinol right now, which I think is great too. And I feel personally that I would quantify Retin-A and retinol as a kind of chemical exfoliant, because what it does is it increases the cell turnover on your skin. And if you're having breakouts in particular, that's extremely helpful, because essentially what's happening to your skin when you're having a breakout, for the most part, at least on a surface level, is that your skin is collecting goo, gunk, debris, oil, bacteria, and exfoliating it with Retin-A or retinol is making it so that that stuff has no time to form on your skin whatsoever. So you have retinol, like I said, that you can get over the counter, and then you have Retin-A or tretinoin, which is like the boss lady version of that. Lots of people do not like to mess with Retin-A. I think they get really frustrated with kind of the ugly phase that you have to go through to get acclimated to Retin-A and start to see the benefits of it. I've been doing Retin-A off and on for many years, so I'm pretty used to it now, and I can tell you that it is hands down the only thing that keeps my skin clear. It is the only thing that works. There's some myths out there about the fact that it thins your skin, all kinds of stuff like that. That's not true. But if you can get through the fugly phase, like I said, I highly recommend it. It is a game changer. And then on top of that, the benefits or the anti-aging benefits of Retin-A in particular are huge. In fact, I read somewhere that Retin-A was originally formulated or invented or prescribed to acneic patients, and then over time it was pretty apparent that the people were clearing up their breakouts and their skin wasn't aging the way that it otherwise would have had they not been on that product. So now people use it for anti-aging. Once again, retinol, which is in all kinds of stuff now as well, is just a more chill version of it. And you will see benefits in breakouts and aging, but the results are just going to happen a little bit more slowly and they're not going to be as extreme. But the reason I'm making it a point to say about retinol and BHAs and AHAs is because they're in friggin' everything now. And if you're not completely aware of the fact that they are exfoliating your skin, using them in conjunction with each other is a recipe for disaster for lots and lots of people. Now, no matter your age, no matter your skin type, no matter your skin concern or your skin goal, exfoliation is a crucial part of your skincare routine. I just don't think you need to do it with reckless abandon, because you can definitely over exfoliate your skin. And one of the major side effects of doing so is you will compromise your skin's lipid barrier, which leads to a host of other problems like dryness, redness, sensitivity, dehydration of the skin, and broken capillaries. So with, chemical exfoliators being in everything, you have face washes with chemical exfoliating agents in it. Then you have toners with them in it. And then you have serums with them in it. And then you have masks with them in it. And then you have moisturizers with them in it. And then you have night creams with them in it. And then you have sleeping masks with them in it. Like, you just need to be paying really close attention to how many of your skincare products have that in there, because with little to no exception, it should not be in every single thing that you own. You don't need to be buying tons and tons of repeat products in this category. It's just not good for your skin. Now, there are some exceptions. Apparently there's a skin type out there. I think kind of the unofficial term for it is elephant skin. People who just produce a higher amount of skin cells. So their skin's really tough and they can take it and they kind of need that aggressive exfoliation and they won't have any side effects, negative side effects with it at all. But that's not everyone, okay? So you really need to pay attention to how your skin is reacting to your exfoliating treatments and be aware of the fact that just because a new version of an AHA or a BHA product comes out, you don't need an entire cabinet full of them because your skin just ostensibly cannot handle it. You'd probably be better off just doing retinol, a good retinol, and then maybe like a glycolic or a salicylic acid toner. And I kind of feel like that should be enough. It shouldn't be an entire routine of sloughing skin off of your face. It's not a good idea. Please don't do it for the sake of your budget and your skin barrier. The last thing on my list is facial oils. And some people probably finna get my head. People love their facial oils, man. Love them. And much the way exfoliation and chemical exfoliators, I feel like are having their moment right now, I feel like facial oils had the same moment 4 or 5 years ago, but we still see them coming out all the friggin' time, and a lot of people still swear by them. And let me start off by saying that I don't hate a face oil at all. I think oil as a whole in skincare has benefits. I use an oil-based cleanser to remove my makeup as a part of a double cleanse. I also use rosehip oil all over my skin and neck to kind of give extra slip to my gua sha massage tool. And if I had a super dry client sit in my chair and need their makeup done, I would probably use some kind of oil to bring a lot more immediate appearance of hydration to the skin. Keep in mind that I said appearance of hydration. But oil as a whole is not really the miracle product that I think a lot of us have been led to believe that it is. So before I go any further, and I probably should have said this at the beginning of the video, with skincare, it doesn't matter what the product or ingredient is. Every time you hear one person say something about the benefits and crucial reasons why you should be using an ingredient or product, you will find 10 other people who say you shouldn't. So some people are going to tell me I'm wrong about this, but from what I've learned on my own so far, in my own personal opinion, and you're okay to have yours, we're all on a different journey, there's some misconceptions about oil. And one of the biggest ones is that The idea being, if you have oily skin, you need to use oil because like balances out like, and if you don't use oil, if you have oily skin, then your skin's gonna think it doesn't have enough oil, so it's gonna produce more. Apparently, from a lot of stuff that I've read, that isn't necessarily true, and a lot of dermatologists and skincare professionals would say that if you have oil, putting oil on your skin is actually a terrible idea because you already have problems with breakout. So putting oil on your skin probably, no, that doesn't mean you shouldn't moisturize. It just means oil is probably not your best friend. Also, there's this idea that even if you have dry skin, that if you use an oil, that is the way that you're going to eliminate dry skin. It's going to give you more moisture to your skin. But the problem is remember what I said about like a client in my chair? I would use oil to make their skin appear more moisturized. That's really what oil is doing. It's going to penetrate and hydrate on a very surface level of your skin. It's not actually bringing moisture into your skin cells in any way. Oil as a delivery system for active ingredients, I don't think is really a problem. My current vitamin C serum, the delivery system is an oil, and I have no problem with it at all. So like, in other words, if you like an ingredient deck and the delivery system happens to be an oil, then go for it. Now, there is something to be said for the molecular structure of the ingredient and how it pairs with the delivery system and if there's any validity to that at all, but I'll do that whole topic in another video. We'll get into that later. I'm more talking about how oil is being like touted as the main way you like the best way you can hydrate your skin. And it's not really, at least. But the crazy thing is, like, some of them are just insanely expensive. Like, I'm looking at this one from Guerlain right now. First of all, fragrance is one of the ingredients listed like a little too high on the deck if you ask me. But water and glycerin are the first two, which makes me think this isn't even actually an oil at all. They're just marketing it this way because they know that beauty oils and facial oils, people synonymize, is that a word? Or synonymize? It is synonymous, whatever, with hydration, and there's like a whole movement behind people who love beauty oils. I think this is a lot of marketing, but this stuff is $100 a bottle, so you can just like miss me with this bullshit. That is way too much money for a beauty oil. And the thing is, I'm aware that not all beauty oils are created equally. I'm sure some of them are very nice, and people probably love them with all their heart and soul, and I'm not here to take anything away from you. But if your main issue, in fact, is hydration, and you keep stocking up on beauty oils to try to achieve that result, I would suggest that you start looking into hyaluronic acid as an active in more of your beauty products, or invest in a hyaluronic acid serum instead of a beauty oil as a whole. And then like double points if you can find one that actually encourages your skin to stimulate more of its own natural hyaluronic acid. The Skin Medica HA5 is a good example of a product that does that. That's actually going to give you the more hydrated, moisturized effects you're looking for that you keep buying facial oils to accomplish. Hyaluronic acid has a different molecular structure than any kind of beauty oil because it's able to penetrate from your epidermis to your dermis, and that's what you're trying to stimulate, is getting your skin to act more hydrated, not just look like it is. Now, there are some downsides to hyaluronic acid. There's some people who say that if you use them for too long, they will eventually dry your skin out because you're drawing moisture from the lower levels of your skin and bringing them to the outer layers of your skin. There's also something to be said for people who want to invest in hyaluronic acid that live in particularly dry climates, because a hyaluronic acid is a humectant, and a humectant's job is to draw moisture from the environment around it. It will get it anywhere it can, and if there's no moisture in the air around you, it will pull it from your skin. So make sure you do your research, make sure you're finding good hyaluronic acids. Like I said, some people will say over time they're more destructive for your skin. For every good thing you hear about an ingredient, you'll have 5 bad ones. That's why I said go to a professional if you feel confused and truly need help with something. But that's just my opinion in terms of hydrating your skin, not moisturizing it. Hyaluronic acid is the way to go, not facial oils. All right, guys, that is the end of this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. I would like to do more 5 things you can stop buying in the skincare category. I can think of tons more things I could talk about, but I am just getting started on the skincare content related journey with you guys, and I'm already having a ton of fun. So please let me know if you have any suggestions of more videos like this that you would like to see. As always, Thank you to the patrons. As I said in the beginning of the video, in the month of March or during this kind of quarantine period, I am going to try to do more live streams. We just did kind of an impromptu one yesterday, which was super fun. Definitely come hang out with me over there. Patreon is a great way to help support the channel. There's lots of bonus content over there. We do true crime and makeup time videos, added tutorials. It's just a cool place to hang out on the internet, if I say so myself. But make sure you thumbs up the video if you enjoy it. Subscribe if you are new here. Check the down bar for links to all my social media platforms. And I will catch you in the next one. Bye.